This is the WWE Smackdown December 13, 2024 full show results video which takes place at XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. Big Jim Uso makes his entrance, hobbling on one crutch because of his broken toe, and he gets on the mic. He corrects the crowd chanting "Yeet" and points out that's the other twin, and War Games was lit but his big toe got. He talks about being with family you have and you might not like, might have a big fight, but you bounce back and you throw your ones up together, and the OG bloodline came up on top. But War Games is now behind us, and in front of us is the question. For years he's watched his family dominate and entertain the WWE Universe since he was knee-high, and he's proud to be part of that. He watched Roman Reigns be the most dominant champion, and he's proud of that. He watched his twin brother become one of the hottest superstars today, and he's proud of that. He's even proud of his little brother Solo Sikoa. He might not like what he's doing, but he's proud of the boy. So with that being said, he also finds himself actually reading what we say, asking what's next for Big Jim? The answer is he doesn't know, but he wants us to ride with Big Jim. Maybe he wins the Royal Rumble, maybe he wins the world title, but it's gonna be a big year and he's gonna show up week in, week out. No Jay, no Sammy, no Roman, no Wiseman, no CM Punk. Your boy Big Jim showed up here with one big toe and that's how it's gonna be. And Drew McIntyre takes Big Jim Uso out with a claymore out of nowhere. Drew following it up with mounted punches as Nick Aldis leads a gaggle of road agents and referees to separate him from Big Jim. McIntyre walks off with a smug smile on his face while Nick Aldis follows close, lecturing him the entire way. Tiffany Stratton is warming up backstage when Nia Jax and Candice LeRae roll up and Stratton says she's ready and it's Tiffy time and nobody's gonna take that away from her. Nia says when she wins the United States Championship she won't need her briefcase anymore and they both wish her luck. Backstage, Nick Aldis is still lecturing Drew McIntyre about how if he keeps this up he's not gonna want to bring him to SmackDown no matter how long they've known each other, and he tells Drew to go wait in his office when Bianca Belair and Naomi roll up to ask why he wants to talk with them. He says they're working on figuring out who attacked Jade Cargill, but in the meantime he sees no option but to relinquish the tag titles. Naomi says Bianca hasn't relinquished anything in her career and she's happy to step up and defend the titles with her. Belair points out it's been done before and Nick says he'll run it up the flagpole, but they better be ready to defend the titles against real competition as early as next week. Then we saw a WWE Women's United States Championship Tournament semi-final match between Mia Yim versus Tiffany Stratton, and the result of this match was Mia Yim defeated Tiffany Stratton by pinfall with Soul Food. We get a recap of DIY winning the tag titles last week and turning heel, and they cut a promo in black and white about how the Bloodline embarrassed them and Johnny's Glad Motor City Machine Guns got their flowers. It's just a shame they got them at their funeral. We get the Roman Reigns promo video we were promised and he talks about how the Bloodline fell apart when he lost his title and his Wiseman, but most importantly he lost the Tribal Chief's Garland. Solo Sikoa wasn't here 4 years ago when he earned it, when his father and his uncle, the Wild Samoans, crowned him and recognized he could handle the responsibility of leading the family. For some, January 6th is Netflix, but for him, it's tribal combat and both bloodlines have won, and he wants to leave the tribes on the side and let them spectate, tribal chief versus tribal chief. On January 6th, he takes back his bloodline and his garland and his respect. Legado del Fantasma are backstage chatting with Nick Aldis complaining about how he runs the show and maybe they'd be better off with Adam Pearce on Raw. They go off to call him and Carmelo Hayes rolls up to talk about how great he's gonna do against this mystery opponent. The next match happened between Braun Strowman versus Carmelo Hayes, and the result of this match was Braun Strowman defeated Carmelo Hayes by pinfall with the running power slam. LA Knight is interviewed backstage and he doesn't care about the Bloodline, they have nothing to offer him. He mocks the Tribal Chief's Garland and says the whole family can go to hell, except for Jey Uso. Solo has let his red necklace get in the way of LA's gold belt, so his fist is going into his face and his foot into his ass. Back from the commercial, the all-new, all-different Bloodline make their entrance and Solo Sikoa gets on the mic, demanding to be acknowledged in the face of rising, "You suck," and OTC chants. He calls Roman Reigns out but gets interrupted by LA Knight. The next match happened between LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa, and the result of this match was LA Knight won the match by disqualification. Post-match, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu work Knight over, throwing him inside to Solo's tender mercies and hit Samoan Spike. Andrade El Idolo and Apollo Crews try to make the save, but the Bloodline lays them out, too. Backstage, Pretty Deadly flagged Braun Strowman down, saying they've been looking for a monster for their musical and he's perfect. Strowman shoves the script back at them and they point out that's not a no as he walks off. Byron Saxton flags the monster down for an interview, but A-Town down under interrupt and invite Braun to the Grayson Waller effect next week, and Strowman accepts and says he'll see them next week. Then we saw a WWE United States Championship Tournament semi-finals match between Bayley vs Chelsea Green, and the result of this match was Chelsea Green defeated Bayley by pinfall with Unpretty Her. Back from the commercial we get a Shinsuke Nakamura promo about dragging weaknesses into light for all to see. Nia Jax consoles Tiffany Stratton backstage on a tough night, and Candice LeRae says while she was out there trying her best, she went to Nick Aldis and got her and Nia a tag title match against Bianca Belair and Naomi next week, and so now Jax will get to have 2 titles, and LeRae gets a jab in about Stratton not being cut out for a singles title. Back from the commercial, Michael Cole is in the ring to introduce American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He introduces Kevin Owens as well, but he doesn't show up, and Rhodes takes a deep breath and gets on the mic, insisting on conducting this interview like professionals, no need to go to the car. But before Cody can get a word in, KO interrupts on the Tron from his car. He tells Cole to ask the real question: how can Cody Rhodes be okay using all his friends to help finish his stupid pathetic story at WrestleMania, but then he's okay spitting in their faces by tagging with Roman Reigns? And no matter what he says, he was more interesting as Stardust. Cody says he's sure Kevin has more zingers up his sleeve, but why wait, he's gonna go get him right now. Rhodes leaves the ring and heads out through the back, but Owens meets him in the aisle and they brawl into the ring. Road agents and referees swarm to pull them apart, but of course Rhodes escapes and attacks KO, forcing another pull apart, hits Big Boot. Desperate to hold them apart, Kevin blasts him in the face with the title belt. Satisfied with a job well done, Kevin Owens leaves while Cody Rhodes is checked on the floor, and the show goes off the air.